Wow, this is my first live experience with YouTube, so bear with me. Gonna going to should have done this before. Sorry, wasn't really sure how the camera would be. I've got the sun behind me over in that direction, so that's why I'm looking for the best. I don't know why I'm talking. Sorry. Okay. I think that's probably more or less right. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay. Hello, good afternoon. I'm streaming a bit early today, but igual, because it'll be available at 7 for people to start watching at 7 if they're like, or whenever. So, namaste. Thank you so much. Gracias a todos y todas for joining me again, or maybe for the first time. So today's class is going to be just an hour, a bit relaxed. I'm going to use as my. I have a few gurus, a few people that are inspiring to me and are helping me, even though they don't know it, maybe to develop classes and figure out how I should focus classes and stuff like that. And so anyway, one of them is, her name is Xuanlan. That's Xuanlan, and she does classes in Spanish all over YouTube. You can find thousands of videos. She's amazing. I recently bought a book of hers that is called Yoga para mi bienestar, yoga for my health. And so anyway, the reason I bring her up a lot actually, is because she's just inspired me so much these past 6 months. And today's practice I got from her, or a part of today's practice I'm going to use from her book. It's in Spanish. It's una secuencia, a sequence, a practice para hacerte un autorregalo, to give yourself to give yourself a gift, to do a gift for yourself. It's hard to translate exactly, but yeah. So first we're going to start with the typical connecting with the breath. Then we're going to do some sun salutations, and then we'll do this self gift. There's another part of the practice that I saw of hers this week that was really beautiful about opening up our hearts to others. So probably gonna borrow a bit of that too, in English, of course. And then we have some various postures to do, but it's not going to be too challenging. And you can always, I'll give you tips for how to modify the posture so that they're maybe not too difficult, depending on how your body's feeling today or how your week's going. So let's begin laying down. I'll lay down with you, but then I'm going to sit back up to guide this entrance into the practice. So lay down on your back. Your feet can be like hip width distance apart, a bit more than hip width distance apart, and we'll let our feet fall open. And we'll lay down, combing those butt cheeks, as I said on Monday in class. But yeah, no, really though, it's like with your hands trying to move your butt towards your feet to try to accommodate your lower back, so that your lumbars can get a bit closer to the floor and help to get rid of any stress that they might be feeling. Arms along the side of your body with palms facing up. Make sure your head has a nice position too before you put your arms down for rest. And I'm going to sit up now so that I can guide you better. So we're going to close our eyes if you feel comfortable doing that, and take these first few minutes of the practice to just really connect with our breath, which is something that we'll carry with us throughout the practice, but something that is helpful to do at the beginning of the practice. So sometimes it's helpful for us to place one hand on the lower abdomen, about where your belly button is, or about there, and the other hand just above that, touching your rib cage, so that you can feel the movement of the torso with how it is in line with the movement of the breath. And so yeah, we'll just let the breath occur naturally at this point. Don't try to force it. But it's a good time now to just turn our senses inward, which we're not really too accustomed to doing. Usually we use our senses to see things outside of the practice, but this is a time for us to turn our senses inward and to listen to what's happening inside our body, specifically with the breath. So hope you're still breathing. I'm just pulling up my notes here. So as you inhale, you should feel the breath traveling deep down into the belly as the diaphragm moves down and accommodates for the lungs to expand in that moment of inhalation. And as we exhale, we should feel the breath moving out of the lungs and the belly. The diaphragm will then rise and squeezes the air out of the lungs. And so we'll just try to see if we can really get into touch with that movement of the diaphragm, the lungs, as we breathe in and breathe out. I'll invite you now to hug your knees into your chest. I'll do it as well. And just start to do a bit of a balanceo, as we say in Spanish, a bit of a side to side. Give your back a nice massage. And now we can take it forward and backward as well. We can hold on underneath our thighs and roll back and up. Roll back and up to seated. Why I'm struggling with that word. And find a comfortable seat, sukhasana, which means an easy seat, actually, in Sanskrit. It can be with your legs crossed, like mine, with one on top of the other. There could be one in front of the other, like that. You could even elevate your hips a bit on a couple of folded blankets or meditation cushion. The idea being to elevate the hips and to encourage flexibility of the hips and the knees, allowing the knees drop down to a lower height than the hips. So we can connect here again with that breath. Take a few deep breaths in this now different position. Maybe try to distinguish how the breathing is different now that we're sitting than it was when we were laying down. Obviously, diaphragm has to do more work because it has all the weight of gravity and the organs pushing down on it. We're going to bring our hands together our heart space. Thumbs touching the sternum. The sternum lifts up to touch the thumbs. And now we'll chant together 3 times the mantra Om to start the practice. The mantra Om to start the practice. So take a really, really big inhale, biggest inhale maybe you've had all day. Bow our head a bit. Try to think of an intention for today's practice. Perhaps you'd like to choose the one that I was speaking of before from Swan Lan. Basically, just trying to open our hearts to be more compassionate. Or any other intention that you'd like to focus on for today's practice. Okay. So something that Swan Lan did in this practice, sorry to keep bringing her up, but she's great, was lots of heart-opening exercises. So this first one that we'll do together is, that is the purpose, is to try to open our hearts up to others. So we'll inhale, exhale, bring the hands to the heart space. Place one hand on the heart and the other hand on top of that. Inhale and exhaling, our hands come forward. And bring them down. Inhale, hands come back to the heart. Exhale, forward. Down. Inhale, hands come back to the heart. One last time. Exhale. And now we'll remove that cushion or whatever, if you had a blanket underneath. And we'll do some warming up. So we can take one or our fingers or our palm directly to the floor beside us, and we'll bend that elbow, but try not to collapse into that side. We're going to reach up with the other arm, up and over. So try to keep this shoulder strong, so you're not like falling into it. Let's get a nice stretch in the right side. Feel free to look upwards. Right? It sounds like Quinoa's home. Very good. Exhale to center. Right hand comes down to the earth or fingertips. And we're going to reach up and over. Maybe look up towards the sky, the ceiling. Exhaling back to center. Now we can do a twist starting to the right. So left hand comes to right knee. Right hand comes behind your back. Inhaling, grow up, and exhaling, turn to look behind you. to center. Right hand comes to left knee. Left hand comes behind the back. Inhaling, we grow up, growing up towards the sky. And exhaling, turn to the other side. So left behind. Exhaling back to center, and come to all fours now. So, shoulders are in line with our wrists. Our fingers are spread wide. Our hips are in line with our knees in this position. We're looking for a neutral spine. Maybe try to keep your gaze a bit ahead of you on the earth, and to keep a nice long neck, and to keep your spine neutral. Now, going to raise the right arm with the pinky facing down, and we're also going to raise the left leg. Don't forget to breathe. Take the leg back down to the earth. Hand. Lift up the left arm. You're going to shake someone's hand. And the right leg. Arm and leg come back down to the earth. And we'll lift the right arm again and the left leg. This time we're going to bend the left leg and we're going to reach with the right arm to find it. And we'll kick that leg away from our butt. Maybe you can bring the gaze up a bit more. Don't crunch your neck. Release. Left side, left arm comes up. Right leg comes up. Bend the right knee. And reach behind. To kick that foot away from your butt. Release. It's really nice practicing outside, but sometimes you get unwanted visitors like ants all over your mat, which are fine, but just Anyway, let's do a couple of cat-cows now. So, inhaling, we're going to round the back, drop the belly down and look up towards the sky. And exhaling, we're going to arch the back like a cat. The chin comes in towards the chest. We'll do a few of these at our own pace now. So inhaling, gaze up, belly drops down. Exhaling, arching the back, and the chin comes to meet the chest. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more, inhale, exhale. Take your knees wide, the big toes come to touch, and we're going to sit back on our heels and stretch our hands out in front of us. If your forehead reaches the mat, sometimes when I've just started practicing, my forehead doesn't reach the mat right away, but since it's later in the day here, I think it will. So yeah, if your forehead doesn't reach the mat, you can also put some blanket, put your blanket there, or perhaps bring your hands here instead of out in front of you. Again, connecting with the breath and trying to feel the effects that the breath has on our back body, for example, how the back expands and contracts with each breath. Now let's bring the hands to frame the face. Come up slowly, rolling up the spine. And we're going to come to our feet now by first coming into a squat. So hands come to support us as we get our feet into position here, maybe about as wide as your mat. This is really great for opening the hips, but it's also quite difficult if you don't have flexibility in your hips, which I think it's a lifelong process. Because your heels should touch the ground. So if that's uncomfortable, you can, I should have had blankets here for the class, and next time I promise I will. You can roll up the blanket or perhaps fold it and set your heels on top of that for it to be a bit more comfortable. Our elbows are pushing out on our knees, and hands, those thumbs would like to touch the sternum, but flexibility is not there yet. So hands are in the heart space, knees are being pushed out by elbows, trying to elongate the back and the neck. Not forgetting to breathe. And now hands come to the earth, and we'll take the hips up to the sky. And bring the feet in to about hip width, or perhaps together, whatever's more comfortable for you. We're going to allow the head to hang heavy and let our friend gravity help us to get some more length out of our spine. And I say that throughout the day, those discs that are in between our vertebrae, they go compressing more and more. So this is a great way to allow them to find a bit more distance between them, and to allow the back to relax. If your hands don't reach the ground, sorry, I should have said that. You can place them on your shins, perhaps. Perhaps that's more comfortable. Or if you have a couple of yoga blocks at home or big books that are the same height, you can set your books here as well. And you can also bend your knees to try to get more of that length out of the back. And really, I keep thinking of the word in Spanish, descargar, which I guess would be like discharge, which is, I don't know if it's the same word, but try to let your back to just relax. Let your head hang heavy. And now we'll slowly start to roll up the spine. Vertebra by vertebra. Head is last. Shoulders up and back, and I'm seeing that my frame is not great. I have to bring this up to the next level. Sorry. It's not going to work either. There. That should be good. Sun caught me off guard today. Anyway, sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt that. All right. So, hopefully you can still hear me from over here. We're going to do some sun salutations. So we'll look for mountain pose here. Feet can be together or hip width distance apart. You're gonna wake up those leg muscles, supporting the kneecaps there. So all the leg muscles are active. Shoulders are back and down. Arms are active. Breathe in and exhaling. Bring your hands to your heart space. Inhale, reach up. Shoulders down, lifting the ears. Exhale, bend forward. Bend our knees here again for that. Now we're standing forward bend, Uttanasana. Maybe bend your knees for a bit more length. In the back. You could shake your head yes and no. Make sure your neck is nice and relaxed too. Now on an inhale, we're going to take the right leg back in a big step. Take the right knee to rest on the floor. And we're going to take the gaze forward. We're going to take the other leg back to meet, rest, and chin. Elbows are touching the rib cages there, touching the bottom. Exhale, twist the hips back and up into Adho Mukha Shavasana, down facing dog. And you can pedal out the feet a bit here, bending one leg and bringing the other heel to the ground. And on our next inhale, we're going to bring that right leg back forward between hands. Left knee comes to the earth. Shoulders down, lifting the ears. Exhale, bring the other foot forward. Keep the head hang heavy. Inhale, you're going to go up. Flat back. Reach up towards the sky. Exhale. And just come back to the front center. Let's do one more on the other side. Inhale, arms reach up. The legs active. Open the chest. Exhale, bend forward from the hips. Wave and sway from side to side here. Inhaling, take the left leg back for a big step. Left knee comes to the ground. Gaze is forward. Right leg comes back to plank. Try to keep our hips not too low and not too high. Exhaling, knees, chest, and chin goes to the earth. Inhaling, cobra pose. Close hands. Keep your legs active. Exhale, hips come back and up. Downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg comes forward. Right knee goes to the earth. Exhale, right leg comes forward. Now place your hands on your shins. We're going to do a half lift. Trying to make a 90-degree angle here in our back. Our back is trying to be flat. We grow forward to the crown of our head. It can be on your shins or it can even be up here on your thighs too. Whatever is easiest for you to get that proper. And exhaling, come back down. Before we rise, finish our sun salutation, we're going to add one variation, which is in we're going to bend the right knee, bring the right hand to the earth, or or if you have a yoga block, that's the type of use that or an encyclopedia. And we're going to reach up with our left arm. Try to look up towards the sky. Continue to breathe. Left arm comes back down. We bend our left knee, right leg straight. Left palm comes to the earth if you can. Touch your encyclopedia. And right arm comes up. Now we can stretch our hands, our arms straight out. And we can grow up and forward with our back. With our back some support for that movement up. Oh, a beautiful bird has just landed in that tree. I think it's just a sparrow. And exhale, hands come to heart space. And we can start with the auto regalo, gift to ourselves. Hashtag song on. I'll make sure to tag that in this post. So the first position that seems really simple in yoga, but actually it is simple, but it's also really powerful and really important to, because most postures that are standing postures are based, they have as their base this posture, which is Tadasana, the mountain posture. So feet can be or together or hip width distance apart. Most people think, not most people, some people think that hip distance apart is like that. That would be a bit much. It's true that it's about 2 fists, right? So like from your arches, 2 fists. So it should be, they usually do about that. Hip width distance apart. So whatever you think it is, probably it's a little bit less. Anyway, all right. So some people it's more comfortable to have the feet together too. So we're gonna pick up our toes and spread them nice and wide on the mat. Good ends. Open through the chest as well, shoulders down and back. Top of the head is reaching towards the heavens. And get her to breathe. So we're gonna take a few breaths here, and get her to breathe. So we're gonna take a few breaths here. Breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm breathing out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And breathing out 1, 2. We're going to do these next 2 postures. We're going to do as a flow. So basically, so from Tadasana, facing the front of your mat, and we're going to come back to Uttanasana. So we're going to flex forward from the hips. We're going to step our legs back directly into downward facing dog. And you can play around with those heels, try to get them closer to the earth, pedaling, or lifting them both up and both down. So the first posture is this one, downward facing dog. Do one more breath here. And now we're going to bring the weight of the body forward, all the way forward and down. Push up into upward facing dog. You can also leave your legs on the ground in this one, but the important thing is extending the arms. So eventually it would be great to get to the point where you're just being supported by your opposite feet. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. bring the weight forward, down, pushing up through the palms, and inhale. Exhaling, down facing down, last time. And then bring the weight forward, and down, upward facing. Come back up to plank. I know it's down facing dog was the last one, we'll go into it. Raise our right leg up, and bring it forward. Bring our hands. We're going to spin on the back feet, the ball of the back foot, the left foot. And we're going to rise up into warrior one. So we want a bend in this front knee. The back knee, or the back leg, you can have or parallel to the back side of your mat, or perhaps the toes pointed a little bit inward. But yeah, bend in this front knee. Hips are actually going to face forward, where our knee is pointing. And lift the arms up, put shoulders downward to the knees. Exhale, we're going to open our arms into warrior two. But we're going to turn the head to look over the front arm. Now we'll step forward to that front foot to switch sides. I'm going to switch, I'm not going to do my back. Now, left leg is forward, right leg comes back. Pretty good distance. We want to bend in that front leg, and the back foot can be or parallel to that short end of the mat. In that front leg, hips are pointing forward, arms come up. Exhale, opening arms and opening hips, I should say before. So now hips are actually pointing this way. Looking over that front arm. Now we're going to bring our hands to our waist. One of my favorite poses. Feet will turn so that they are now parallel with each other in a wide stance. And now we'll bring the toes out, so pointing out a bit. Maybe if you saw the moon salutation practice, you know this one. It's called Diosa, the goddess pose. So bend our knees upwards, trying to avoid this, or I don't know, trying to keep the back nice and supported and elongated. So yes. Inhaling 1, 2, 3. Exhaling 1, 2, 3. Inhaling 1, 2, 3. Exhaling 1, 2. Inhaling 1, 2, 3. Exhaling 1, 2, 3. Inhaling 1, 2, 3. Exhale 1, 2, 3. Maybe try to sit a bit lower if you can for the soft breath. Inhaling 1, 2, 3. Exhaling 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to straighten our legs. We're going to come back to Tadasana. So step over to one side. Feet can be, again, together or hip-width apart. And we're going to try to look for that stable, calm mountain position, Tadasana. energetic as well, even though it seems like it's not. So legs are active, arms are active, shoulders down and back, chest is open, elongating to the sides. And we'll be here for 3 breaths. Are going to do Vrikshasana, the tree pose. So we'll start to put our weight into our left foot little by little, lifting up the right heel. And we have a few options in tree pose. We can place the, or we can take it up a little bit higher to the inner thigh. Sometimes it depends on what pose you're wearing too. Get some traction there. So choose your, pick a poison. Sorry, I said that. Choose your height, and we'll bring the hands to heart center. And it can help in these postures, in these balancing postures, to find a fixed point in front of you to focus on. Be the goal. Be the goal. Into cactus arms or tree branch arms, or you can bring them over your head. So cactus arms or tree branch arms, or you can bring them over your head. So be mindful of shoulders if they're still keeping away from those ears. And release back down. Wow, let's hug in this right leg first. Squeeze. Thank you. Yes. Right leg down. And now we're going to shake it out. And start to put weight into the right leg. Little by little, start to feel up that left heel. And again, we've got our kickstand, or below the knee or above the knee, but not directly on the knee, because we don't want to put pressure on the knee. That's not a normal movement part. Or all the way up to you. So, sometimes the two sides are different. It might be that one side is easier for you to balance and get your leg up there, and the other side difficult. As symmetrical as we'd like to think we are, we're hands to heart space, or perhaps choosing cactus arms, or keeping them above your head together. Might even try closing your eyes, but that makes it a lot harder. No! Maybe start closing eyes in Tadasana. But it is a good practice in all of the poses too. Forward. Well, maybe this is good for you today. If you'd like a bit of a challenge, arm comes forward. Keep your leg. Keep a slight bend in that standing leg as well. Helps with the balance. Great. Let's try the other side. See how it goes. Shake it out. Little by little, putting our weight into the right foot. Then up that left foot. Teeter-tottering forward. Keeping a slight bend in that standing leg. Also bending the other leg. I'm going to reach back with my right arm. Grab foot or ankle. Left arm reaches forward. You almost fall. That's okay. Come back to standing. And we're going to come directly to the ground now. So we come to kneeling, with our knees behind you here. most natural way you can find, we're going to go into Shavasana. That you can find, we're going to go into Shavasana. I almost had my internet connection. Sorry. Okay. So with as little effort as possible, we're going to come back onto our backs so that we started this practice. So we just flip it over. Hips. We're going to lay down on our backs. Let's do that first. Feet are more than hip width distance apart, perhaps as wide as your mat even. We're going to let the feet fall open. That subtle gesture that's not so subtle, combing your butt cheeks down towards your feet and accommodating our lower back so we can really get a nice release there. That's the word I was looking for before. Dischargia, release. Right. Accommodate the head as well, maybe pick it up and bring the chin a little bit towards the chest so that the head, the neck is really comfortable there. Arms come to our sides with the palms facing up. I'm going to sit up now, but you guys keep on keeping on, enjoying that Shavasana. And I'm going to guide you through a short relaxation before we finish the practice for today. So we're going to start by consciously relaxing every part of the body. Start those muscles in your head, or at least identifying them and saying, relax. That sounded not relaxing. Relax. Relaxing knees, relaxing thighs, hips are relaxing. I'm going to relax my back, relaxing shoulders, relaxing our fingers, hands, wrists, relaxing arms, even elbows, relaxing the neck, relaxing the head, and all the muscles we have in the face, forehead, relaxing that, relaxing cheeks, lips, relaxing jaw, and other jaw, the jaws. And I'm going to leave you now in a few moments of silence. Just hopefully your eyes are closed. To really get into our Shavasana. belt buckle. And we'll start to take deeper breaths. And wake up the body. Nice rest. And wiggle the toes and fingers. And you can stretch the arms up above the head. Do a nice full body stretch. Fingers to toes. And let's give ourselves a nice hug. So we'll hug in the knees to the chest. Maybe do a bit of a, now take, when we're ready, you can also stay in Shavasana a bit longer. When you're ready, we'll take and roll over onto that right side, resting the head on the right arm. With the help of the left arm, you can push back up, sitting into a nice comfortable seated position. And well, most practice I had was moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down. She was gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do not know how to pay attention, how to fall down in the grass. What else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Mary Oliver. Una Grande. Um, so, thank you so much for practicing with me and for supporting me. As you can imagine, okay, it's, it's not, but I promise that I will get better. Um, as with most things, it's a matter of we'll chant once more Om and 3 Shantis. So, Namaste. Thank you so much.